Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Sketches at Lunch. My lunch, not yours. And I'm gonna be working on some remarks today. Some Spawn Kills Ever Spawn remarks. Folks. Just bear with me. Thought I had all my pens out, but I did not. So I'm just gonna grab a few of these here while we wait for everyone to appear. I'm gonna be doing these with Poscas and Toolies. Mostly Toolies, but I do use Poscas. We'll see how it goes. How is your day? Most people aren't even going to be hanging out today. They're going to be doing Labor Day stuff. They're going to be grilling, hanging out. Smart people. But I got a couple hours here before I have to go make dinner, so thought I'd get caught up really quickly on some of this stuff. If I can ever get started. Red and orange. And I think that should be good. Some others. There's always something, isn't there? You know, we'll figure that out as we go, I think. We'll figure that out as we go. I am interested in that one. I'll give that a shot. A couple of these are new colors, so I'm super excited to give some of these a go. But we'll figure it out as we move along so we can get started. Chats are open. If anyone shows up, great. If not, I'll just keep working. In the future, if you guys are watching, if you're hanging out, feel free to leave a comment and I will reply. I already got a little spawn, a little chibi spawn here going. That actually was, I was doing a signing recently at the Collector's Outpost, a comic shop near me, and I was just getting started over there, and then everyone showed up, so I wasn't able to actually finish. Keep a little spare towel here so I can. Get that paint moving. Get the mic near my face. Oh, got enough pigment in there. You know what I want to do? I want to try one of my new brush ones. Let's see if that. Oh, back to got some new brush ones. I want to give a shot. I want to give a shot. There we go. These are all pigment based, so they won't fade out. Although they say that, I mean, you leave anything in the sun long enough, it's gonna fade, you know. But in terms of coverage, if I just want to like block and stuff, my theory was that the brush ones would speed that up because you can get good wide coverage and it doesn't require a ton of shaking, shaky. Hey, what's up, Joseph? Too kind. Let me put the chat over here so I can see that a little easier. The brush ones don't dry as bright, but we're going to see if putting over second coat or just doing the Tules right over will brighten them up. The Tules are pretty bright. They're pretty all bright. And I'm fine if the basic coverage isn't as bright, just so I can get it down faster. You know? But there's just not a lot of like people doing tutorials on this sort of thing. So like I just had to work it out on my own, really. You know, you spend a $300-500 on different art supplies to get everything in. So super fun. Let's see. You know, you get the sketch in and then you block in all the color and then you do your cleanup as you go. I tend to like throw a bunch of sketchy lines in, so it's going to look pretty energetic when everything's said and done. But it can sort of look like a blobby mess as you're going. As you're going along. But you know, the cool part about these sort of things with acrylic or opaque paint is once it dries, you can always go back over. You know, you get another pass at cleaning it up, so you don't really have to worry too much about getting it right the first time, which is helpful. Joseph asks, I don't know if you're supposed to disclose this. What is your process when coming up with titles? What do you mean by titles? Specifically, what do you mean? Your names on your drawings. My name's on my drawings. What do you mean, like Sketchcraft, or? I'm uncertain. My name's on my drawings. Or you mean like the title of a comic? Or creating a signature? I told you I'm a little... The name on the drawing, like Spawn. You mean how to come up with a book title? Well, I didn't come up with the book title, so... In terms of coming up with the title for your own comic, I mean, sometimes an idea just comes to you, sometimes it's a product of writing the actual story. So... I tend to side with something that, I mean, there's always trends, you know? Like right now there's kind of like a trend for doing things I call like Agatha Christie titles, like something's killing the children. Then you have something really simple like the book Saga, so kind of just depends on what you're doing. I think a title should always help sell the promise of the premise, you know? So if you had a story that involved ninjas, you could just be like House of Ninjas. That's a thing to do. The trick is trying to keep your titles from sounding too generic, like mobile game phones, you know? That's kind of like always the battle, you know? Like, I once wrote a story called Timber about the end of, you know, a fantasy world. So, it was a world made of trees, but it was also the end. So the timber implied two different things, you know? Hey, what's up, DI Universe? Thank you. Where's my... Wah! I'm about to rip. Sometimes these things are just a little too close. Let's set this one down. You know, there's quite a few comic book style companies that tend to like SEO their titles. So everything's based on like SEO findings. I kind of refrain from that. But I mean, Spawn kills every Spawn. The title of it came from Todd because when he was originally going to write the book, and he asked me, he goes, "Hey, Paul, what do you want to draw?" You know, he goes, "What do you want to draw?" Yeah. And he goes, "Oh," he was saying that like when Brett Booth came on Gunslinger, he wanted to draw dinosaurs, so Todd wrote in dinosaurs. And I just said, Todd, I wanted to draw all of his characters. Always wanted to draw all of his characters. So that was always my dream. And so he came up with Spawn Kills Every Spawn. And then when John took over, John did his own thing with that premise. So it's a little different than I think it was initially planned, but you know, it's working out. It's become a little bit more of an Irie. It's like trying to kill all the spawns in some way, but in the way that Pinky and the Brain try to take over the world. So it's interesting. You know? I'll take note of that. All right, yeah. The worst thing you could do, man, is get hung up on writing a story or creating something because you don't have a good title for it. I would definitely do the work first. You could be all the way done. A lot of times, man, movies and stuff, those titles are figured out by marketing departments after a film's made, you know. Sometimes they have a title, but a lot of times it's just decided at the very end. So you might get done with the project and then find out that, you know, it became something else while you were working on it. And you don't want to get... Other times, man, you have a really good idea and you don't want to lose sight of it, right? You don't want to lose track of it. So that title can help be a barometer, you know, like... Like I once worked on a book called Mosaic. We sold it to Image. And it was about a universe that was taking out parts of every universe and building it into itself, like a mosaic, you know? So, pretty cool premise, you know? In the way that, like, that's why when I first saw it, I think the guy who wrote it was imagining it being like this dark kind of Hellboy looking thing, and I saw that and was like, this reminds me of Labyrinth, you know? And so I took it in a different direction. You know, I went with like more of like Labyrinth meets Treasure Planet in the art design. And I don't know if that guy ever... I don't think he liked that because he never finished the script. We sold the book to Image and then he never wrote it. And he was like, he didn't like my character designs and I had to change them for the second pass a bit. And I should have quit then and there, you know? But that's a different story. That's a different story. Let's see here. I have a more... thinner one. It's tricky, man. It's tricky. I can honestly say I have several different, personal projects all kind of lined up, ready for me to do when all this is over. And one of them I've been working on off and on since 2009 in various forms. Like it's a story that was very complex that I whittled down to something very simple, but it took me a long time to go. But the reason why I'm kind of going with it is because once I started drawing everything out in thumbnails, I came up with some really unique layout and storytelling techniques that I just was like, it follows my motto of like, my personal projects should always be things that I think would never get traditionally published. So that's just kind of like how I do it. So that's how I've gotten all my gigs. Every time I've gone down the path of doing things that aren't traditionally done, it's gotten me my next big, whatever you call it, project, gig or whatever. But that being said, I'm still a little stuck on whether I do a singular title or a title with the subtitle. I still don't fully have that figured out. And, but I'll make that decision like at the last second once everything's done. I'm not going to sit here and not get the work done because I'm like trying to figure out a title. Like that would be a very bad idea. It's a little too wet. It's been a couple weeks since I've done this, folks. Just bear with me. I'll get it rolling. I like this ballpoint blue over the purple on my remark spawns. Kyle, hey, what's up, man? Are these new? Yeah. Some of them, they're intermixed, but yeah. Those will come in more handy with the Scribbly commish. A little careful with the ballpoints, it can scrape up. I need to see. Right. Okay. Let me try this with one of the brush pens. I want to see how they turn out. We can try one of these new pens out now, Kyle. We'll see how it dries. This is about the same color as the Posca. Hey, what's up, Iggy? Hey, Kuya, can you recommend any signing pens? You have to sign Disney Volcanic. Hmm. You want something that dries fast? You know? That's basically what you want. You want something that dries fast. So, the Sharpie, they have these brush ones, these classic ones that I think would dry pretty fast. I also use these Tanmit dual acrylic brushes, but they're might be too big for those tiny cards. So, like, Thule has a smaller nib. You know, these Thules have a smaller. Like if I had to, we could do a test, right? Check it out. Let's do a little quick test. I'll take one of these X-Men cards, right? And I'll just draw around it. Right? And let's see here. Something, let's do this, right? Let's see the thickness for that. Let's try one of these brush. You can see how much thicker a brush pen is, right? Poscas will inadvertently blob stuff out at you, so I don't recommend them in a bind like that. And then these are the Shuttle acrylic pens. They're not as bright, but they're about equal, right? These Shuttle, this is Shuttle Art. These might actually work for you. Shuttle Art, because they're not that expensive. And let's see how quickly this dries, right? Like, that's already dry. That's on paper. It's not on gloss, but it's an old X-Men card. We'll try on that, right? Just fuck it. See how long that takes to dry. Still wet, still wet, still wet. Shuttle Art. Shuttle Art acrylic paint marker. Yeah, they have, you don't have to shake them that much, and they have these. Now, Thule does make an acrylic brush pen. Hold on, I bought some of these recently. Let's give this a shot. And you don't have to shake them up at all. The shaking is what can eat up time if you're signing, right? So let's see. Yeah, this is a little... So the Thule's all right. No, Thule's not dry yet. But anything else, it's just still going to take some time to dry. But the question is whether these little ones... Yeah, so you can get much thinner with these. You know? So... see how much thinner you can get that? And these are Thule. You can get the Thule acrylic extra fine. These are extra fine. These are $33 for a set, you know? And you'd only need like one, but I mean, if you want to spend $33 to sign things. But those will make, you know. Now, they don't have gold and shit in there, so, you know. You'll have to deal with that. But I can assure you, I bought one of every fucking thing there is. You know? Kyle can verify. And I mean, having just done, you know, a shitload of signing, I can tell you speed is what you want. Speed, and you want it to dry. You can always tell them, hey, this is going to take a minute, you know? But you definitely want speed. So... These tongues got printed wrong. The tongue colors. So I'm always like fixing those. But yeah, the Thule Extra Fine I like. That's what I'm doing right here. And I like doing these little like acrylic outlines around things. So you could go on those cards, you know, if someone wanted to hook you up for like some extra cash, you could always like outline things, you know, and put little fun. This is stuff that we would do on t-shirts a lot, you know, when you're trying to like take a image that's pre-made. Like if we got the Lorcana license and had to put that stuff on a shirt, you know, you'd see stuff like this on at least a few of the tees, you know. Look at that. I should have dabbed it first. It's okay, just let it dry, you can clean it up. If it does that, just let it dry. And if it doesn't dry fast, what you can do is, because that will not dry. Always keep a paper towel around for stuff like this, you know. That's why I was, you know, we'll just surgically clean this, soak this stuff up real quick. It's fine. Cool part about the acrylic paint is once it dries, you can just paint right over it. So we'll fix that up. Anytime I do any signing, I always just, on the paper towel, a couple times press down on it, just to get it going. And if you don't, you learn your lesson, you know. You'll find when you dab down, the Poscas bleed the most. Like they waste a lot of ink, in my opinion. So we can come right in there. And then make sure you cap all your pens properly when you work, because you really don't want to waste a pen. And then on this one, this one is for Where's my brush pen? Did I put that away? Did I put it away or did I move it after? Sometimes when I'm showing people pens, there we go, I put it away. So like, these Tamits are pretty cheap and they're really good for like blocking in large areas of black really quick, so. Do you have a list somewhere? No, this is all new. So I haven't done anything. At some point I'll make a video with a list. You know, but for now, like this is all, I figured this all out within like the last month or so. I think given that you're signing cards, Thule, Extra Fine, you can get the basic set. There's a TOOLI. You can get them on Amazon officially through them. Yeah. Right now, I'm just doing live streams. I'll make a video whenever I don't have deadlines, but editing video and all that stuff, just I'll spend my entire weekend doing it. It's like plus I hate making videos when I really don't feel like I have control over what I'm still kind of like working out how I want this to work out, so and then you just have to sort of work in a way that like you don't smear while you're working, you know? So, good luck with that. These Univision Ball Pros go over acrylic. The acrylic ink really nice. They're smooth and it's a little wider of a thickness than I would like on the black, but it doesn't dry out, so I just deal with it. I've got smaller versions of that. Like they make where is it? This is the Uniball Signo. It's more like a ballpoint pen, but it can scrape. It can scrape. So So let me... I'm not liking this. So I'm gonna paint over it. This is a mistake I made when I sketched this out. So we're gonna fix it. And then we'll let that dry for a bit. And then we'll come over here and do and then I think on this one, I'm not doing a remark on this one. This one's just a signature. Yeah, this one's just a signature. So I'll put it right here. Don't really care if I cover up my signature because I got this big one going on right here. And when I have time, this is something I like to do where you do one in smooshy black and it kind of creates a drop shadow. So once it dries, you can then go and do something on the inside. But I can tell you at a signing booth, no time for that. No time for that. No. They look at you just waiting to get their shit and move on. Like it's already dried. So let's do this. This is the first time I've used one of these Thule brush pens for this. Then I'll let that dry. I'll do one extra hit on that. Now let's see here. What I like to do is whatever color I'm doing for this signature, I'll add a little underlight. And I do this to hook up my fans. That's what we do here at Sketchbook. We hook everyone up. the top, all through, maybe a pink this time. How do we do a pink? Be different. That's cool. Joseph, what's a unique spin on signatures? It makes it pop when I get. Oh man, good luck. You know, depends on your name. Depends on your name. I mean, my initials are, my last name is Duenas, so I used to sign my signature Rad. You know, I mean, it's a thing to do. So you know. But I mean, if I was signing Joseph Davis, I might. I mean, you could do it Davis, J Davis, or you know, even sign Davis. I mean, just, you got to get into typography. You know, I always say typography is tedious. You know, that's not something I actually ever did until I did T-shirts, and then you know, you have to learn typography for T-shirts. So. I want some red back in there. Put some red back in there. It's a little. I was like, make it bright red. And they're like, no, but the environment. And I was like, colorists, stop thinking environment. Sometimes with my colorists, man, I have to remind them, stop thinking like it's a real world. Sometimes it just needs to be graphic and pop right out. That, you know, you gotta let people have creative, you have to let people have creative input, you know, you can't, at the same time, you try to guide, you're like, okay, you know. I'm gonna take this light yellow and do a little backlighting on some of this stuff, just to add some energy. We can outline some of these bullet shells. Jones, hey Rob, good to see you working on your magic. I have a question regarding Star Wars retro gaming cover art. How did you come up with all the refs used and all the details drawn by hand based on these? All right, I'll answer that in a second. Kyle says, speaking of red, did you sneak a red into the raindrops on Spawn's cape in the first issue? First page of this issue. Did I? You mean that? No. No, I did not. That, whatever that is, that's unintentional. I think you're thinking that. I think that's that's supposed to be. I think that's a mistake. Yeah. Well, you know. Or it's the raindrops that weren't colored. They probably should have been deleted on the layer when we painted the raindrops in at the bottom. Nah, it's just a mistake, man. You know. But no, I did not intend to do that. As for the Star Wars thing, Jonesy, if you type in Star Wars into my YouTube, I did a 3-hour breakdown on that once, but I'll give you the short answer. The answer is, I go and get the box art, the actual physical box art, right? Just the fronts, never the sides. And I'll Photoshop that into a box that I've already drawn, right? I draw the boxes first, and then I Photoshop and kind of warp to kind of bend it and make it kind of fit a little bit. And then I turn the opacity down, or I duplicate it, add white, turn the opacity down, so only like 30 to 20% of the color shows through. And then I redraw all of it by hand so that all the lines, regardless of resolution, match up to my line art. And then I'll go in there and then paint in back in some of the color. Like I'll turn down some of the color, paint in some of the color, and then there's some adjustment period for every box. So that way it all matches and lines up and looks, because you're never gonna get all those colors to match if you just use them as is. So, but yeah, I definitely did. There we go. I definitely did draw every logo and every box art. So that was fun. Okay, we'll let that dry. So I owe 2 of these. That one's for Gary. I got one for Mike. Well, that's dry, and I'm going to do another one. We're going to do another one from scratch. I owe a few sketch covers. That was it. Yeah, we're doing good. And I just do the same poses with remarks, guys. Like when I come up with the character, they get the same, roughly the same thing. You know. There we go. See how quickly that just gets sketched in so easy, right? You just do it like that. No big deal. That's where I'm thinking the brush pen, even though it goes darker, it would at least get the coverage faster. I'm just trying to find ways to get the coverage faster. And then build up the little lines. Because when I do the scribbly, it can smear. Let's see. We've got 2 different kinds of brush pens. Let's see which one works out. But yeah, like, so when I do those tribute pieces, they take 100-something hours. They take forever, man. Like the Battletoads, the Dragon Ball Z. I haven't done them in years because they take forever. Because they take forever. When you shake it, make sure you put the cap back on, folks. Save yourself the trouble. Don't go over the spikes next time, Rob. It's semi-transparent, but not that transparent. So, lesson learned on that one. Jonesy says, is this the DLC bonus edition with actually... Nah, these are remarks. They're like commissions. You know, they don't take as long. Theoretically. So I charge $80 for this, including shipping. So I make like $60 on them, you know. Worth my time, worth their time, and you know, you get it on the actual comic, which is kind of the benefit, right? But took me a little bit to work out how I was going to do that. Kyle, he saw it. I basically locked myself in a room for a week and figured out my process for this, you know. That needs to dry. That needs to dry before I add that. And we'll give it a second quick pass on the color once we get all the lines put in. It's gonna need. We'll go with the white brush because a little too much paint on. I should have still need to do green on that, so I should probably not get too ahead of myself. Let's fix his mouth. Clean that tip off. It's getting a little. And they gave you new tips, so I'll probably have to go through on some of these and replace them at some point soonish. But so far, no big deal. Color theory here. This is that cool little tint. Throws a little sketch line in there. It's always a trick because you're essentially working on glossy surfaces, and you know your tolerance for that will vary from artist to artist. And, you know, I probably should be doing that stroke with the cheaper pens to save me ink. Save the good ink for the scribbly and the budget ink for the coverage. What's up? Careful, you put your finger back down on that ink rub. Let's go and touch some of these lines up. dry. And then get back to this one. This one, are we done with this one? Oh, yeah, I wanted to do that. How do I do that? Let's try. Let's try that. Let that dry for a bit. This one's a little, tip's a little oversaturated. So it's making puddles. That's weird. Alright, it doesn't want to work with me. That's fine. If this doesn't work, then I'll just black it out. I'm just gonna black it out and put the word in. I was hoping to do an X, but that's not gonna work. I think that's all. I think that's all I owe. Wait, do I? 2 plus 1. I have it written down. Where did I put it? That's on this backside of it. Let me see. 1 and 2 mark 1. Yeah. I think that's all I got. Hey, no big deal, man. It's a holiday. I didn't expect it to. I gotta finish this hand. I gotta finish this glove. That's what I forgot. Oh man, look at that. I smeared it. Well, we'll fix that. Damn it. Told you that one's a little wet. Anything can be fixed with acrylic paint. I'm just telling you right now. All right, let me see. Maybe some white specks. We're just not drawing now. Is that it? It's a little tricky when things get tiny, you know? And then we'll come back here. Outline. Let's see if I can touch this without. For some reason, it wants to be a little bitch. Once that dries, I'll have to put that back over. That pen wants to be a little bit of a pain. It happens. I think that's that, folks. All right, we did a good job. We did good. We kept ourselves pretty busy today. So we got 2 remarks and a signing done. Not bad. All right, I'm gonna go make my dinner, and I'll be back on tomorrow. You'll have a happy Labor Day. You enjoy your week. Peace.